Hey vinyl community, it's Michael. Welcome back to Near Wild Heaven. Hope everybody's doing well and enjoying your weekend. This video is going to be 15 albums from my collection. But before I get started on that, I just wanted to say, talk a little bit about the samples that I put up for the Cleveland bands. I know those don't sound too good, and I apologize for that. I use the camera on my laptop. It's the only camera I have, and the microphones aren't that good, and I'm starting to discover that music does not sound good recorded through my computer, so I'm not going to be doing that anymore unless I get another camera sometime. But I just wanted to get that out of the way, apologize, if you want to hear that stuff, there's better recordings available on YouTube for any of those bands, really. But I just wanted to get that out of the way. So, okay, here we go. 15 albums from my collection. First one up, this is the Troggs, From Nowhere. This came out in 1966. This is a German pressing on Hansa Records. I found this in cutouts or a bargain bin for like $2. Pretty cool. Someone wrote their name on it there, but other than that, sounds really good. It's a German pressing, like I said, and it's on this Hansa label there, but really good stuff. Everybody knows Troggs, Wild Thing, A Girl Like You. I can't get that in there right now, but yeah, the Troggs, the first album from Nowhere, really good stuff. Up next, this is The Laws. This is originally came out in 1990. This is like a 2011, I think, reissue on Go Discs. So yeah, but this is really good. Britpop, really poppy, I guess, but great songs on here. Son of a Gun, I Can't Sleep, There She Goes, Timeless Melody, Looking Glass, Feeling, Way Out, IOU. All of it's really good stuff from 1990. The Laws, really good Britpop. And up next, it's a classic. This is the Yes album. I think it's like their third album from 1971. There you go for the inside there. But this is one of my favorite Yes albums. I mean, it's so good from start to finish. I think this is the first album I ever had by them. But such great songs on here. Yours Is No Disgrace, Starship Trooper, I've Seen All Good People, Your Move, Perpetual Change. So good. It's prog rock, but at this point in time, the band still had kind of a psychedelic tinge to it a little bit. But it's just a great album. This is one of my favorite Yes albums. I really like this one a lot. The Yes album. Up next, this is Robin Hitchcock. Actually, it's the Soft Boys. Their album's called Invisible Hits. This is from 1983. Really good stuff. If you like the Soft Boys, you'd probably like this. But some of the songs on here is like Have a Heart, Betty, I'm Not Fireproof, Muriel's Hoof, Let Me Put It Next to You, When I Was a Kid, Rock and Roll Toilet. It's all good. It's Robin Hitchcock at his quirky best with the songwriting, but great band. They had several albums out throughout the 80s before they broke up, and then Robin Hitchcock went on to form the Egyptians. So he'd do some albums with the Egyptians and then do solo stuff. But this was his first band, the Soft Boys. Album's called Invisible Hits, and great stuff from the Soft Boys. Up next, another rock classic. This is Led Zeppelin, Physical Graffiti. This came out originally in 1975. This is Italian press, I believe from the same year, but this is really good. Everybody knows Led Zeppelin, but this is one of my favorites by them. I love the song Kashmir. Custard Pie is another one. Trampled Underfoot. All of it really good. This was like the first Zeppelin album I heard that I liked every song right away. Some of the other albums, like the Houses of the Holy album, took me a little while to get into that album. You know, I had to listen to it a few times before it really took hold. But this one, right away, as soon as I played this, I fell in love with it. It's so good. It's my favorite Led Zeppelin album, Physical Graffiti. Really good stuff. Up next, this is the Grateful Dead, American Beauty. This is one of their albums from 1970. They released 2 albums that year. I think this was the first one. I could be wrong, but they also released Working Man's Dead, also the same year. But these albums were the first albums that the Dead's record label, Warner Brothers, actually liked. So they didn't like the stuff that they were putting out before, the Anthem of the Sun and all those other ones that they put out before this. But by the time they got to this, they were heavily influenced by the vocals of like Crosby, Stills and Nash were getting big at the time. So they started working on that, and it's a beautiful album. They harmonize so well on some of the stuff. It's just so good. But all of it, you know, Box of Rain, Friend of the Devil, Sugar Magnolia, Operator, and the classic Ripple from this. It's so good. I love the Grateful Dead, and this is one of their best albums. American Beauty. Really good stuff. Up next, got a little garage rock here with the Miracle Workers. This is called Moxies Revenge. This is came out in 1989, but it's a collection of singles and EPs that they had released previous couple of years before. But really good stuff. Garage rock with psychedelic tinges to it. Songs like Flashing Red Light, I'm Hung Up, Blue Girl, Infected With You, Strange Little Girl, Psycho. Like every garage band in the world has done Psycho. Out of My Head, Run From Home, You Don't Know. Oh, really good stuff. Really like this band a lot. The Miracle Workers, Moxies Revenge. Great garage rock. It's from the 80s. Up next, this is the Zombies. This is their self-titled first U.S. release. This features She's Not There and Tell Her No. Everybody shows and talks about Odyssey and Oracle, which is a fantastic album, you know, and a good reason that everybody talks about it and likes it because it's a great album. But nobody shows this album, and this is really good too. It's not quite as, you know, spectacular as Odyssey and Oracle, but it's got some great stuff on it. They do a version of Summertime, the George Gershwin song that Janis Joplin had done a version of with Big Brother on Cheap Thrills album. They do a version of that, but it's like closer to the original one from Porgy and Bess. But yeah, it's really, really good. This whole album is just nice, really good British pop from early 60s. So there you go, the Zombies' first US album. And up next, I've been listening to this album a lot lately. This is Genesis, Foxtrot. This was their fourth album. Fourth album. But so good. This is the first album I ever had by Genesis. And I love it. I love Genesis. I love the Peter Gabriel era of Genesis. After Peter Gabriel left, I like the first one or two albums when Phil Collins took over on vocals. Those were okay, but after that, it just, for me, it went downhill. I mean, they got more commercial, which is fine, but it just wasn't my cup of tea. But this stuff, this early stuff with Peter Gabriel, is so good. The song Supper's Ready on here, it takes up most of side 2, is just so good. It's really good prog. Peter Gabriel's vocals, so distinctive, so good. Everything about it, their stage show at the time, I didn't get to see them for this album, but I've seen videos on YouTube of some of their performances around this time. They were so good. They were such a tight band. Really, really good. I really enjoyed this album. This is, like I said, their fourth album. Other albums from when Peter Gabriel was with the band are just excellent. I love them all. So there you go, Genesis, Foxtrot. From, I think this came out in, it doesn't say it. I think it was like 71 or maybe 72, I don't know. But really good album, Genesis, Foxtrot. And up next, this is The Seeds, Raw and Alive at Merlin's Music Box. This is really good. If you like The Seeds, you probably like this. But the thing about this copy, someone took a X-Acto knife to it and cut out the pictures on the back. Why they did that, I have no idea. But this album's kind of hard to find. And I came across it, I saw this and I was like, oh man, The Seeds, yeah. I grab it and I turn it over and it's this. And I'm like, well, but the record's in pretty good shape. Maybe somewhere along the line I could find another cover. But yeah, The Seeds, Raw and Alive. They do Mr. Farmer, No Escape, Satisfy You, Nighttime Girl, Up in a Room. And my favorite song on this album is 900 Million People Daily All Making Love. It's really good. Psychedelic, as you would expect from The Seeds. Really good, kind of garagey, psych. Really good stuff from The Seeds. And up next, this is Devo, their first album. This is a British version of it. Are We Not Men? We Are Devo. Classic album. Everybody knows this one. Everybody has. I've seen a lot of people show the U.S. version of this, but this has the same songs on it, just a different cover. Uncontrollable Urge, Satisfaction, Mongoloid, Jocko Homo, Too Much Paranoias, Gut Feelings, Slap Your Mammy, I Saw My Baby Getting Sloppy. Really good stuff. Everybody knows Devo. This came with 2 posters here. There's one and the other one. And they're just, I'm not going to open them up because they're just these pictures. That's all it is. But yeah, great stuff from Devo. Are We Not Men? We Are Devo. And up next, this is The Breeders, Pod, their first album. This was a side project by Kim Deal from the Pixies. Yeah, really good stuff on this. She teamed up with Tanya Donnelly and Josephine Wiggs, who were in Throwing Muses. And they also, I think, Belly. There's a band called Belly that I think Tanya Donnelly was in that too. But this is the first Breeders album. Really good stuff. They do a version of the Beatles' Happiness is a Warm Gun. It's excellent. But I like this album better than their second album, Last Splash, with the song Cannonball. I mean, I like the song Cannonball, but that album doesn't hold up to this one. This one's really good. I really enjoy this one. The Breeders, Pod, their first album from, I think, 91. Nope, 1990. The Breeders, Pod. Up next, this is the Long Riders. 10-5-60 is the name of the EP. This is a 5-song, or no, 7-song EP, but really good. Kind of similar in style to Green on Red, their album I just showed not too long ago, Gas, Food, and Lodging. It's got a similar style to that, kind of country tinged, but really good stuff. Join My Gang is really good. I Don't Care What's Right, I Don't Care What's Wrong. The title song, 10-5-60, and then the 2 songs on the other side, And She Rides and Born to Believe In. But really good stuff from the Long Riders. They were part of the Paisley Underground from the early 80s. This came out in 1983. But yeah, they were part of that with Green on Red and Dream Syndicate, 3 O'Clock, all those bands. But yeah, it's really good stuff from the Long Riders. Kind of country tinge, alternative rock. Really good stuff. And up next, this is the Dirtbombs. Dangerous Magical Noise. This is from 2003. I have one other album by them. It's called Ultra Glide in Black, and that one's really, really good. It's kind of punkish with soul R&B overtones. This one's more straight punk, but it's really good. The lead singer, his name is Nick Collins. He's also in the band The Gories from Detroit. But great stuff. Start the party, get it while you can, don't break my heart, the sun is shining, thunder in the sky, all really good. The Dirtbombs, dangerous magical noise, really good stuff. And the last one here, this is Ride, Nowhere. This is reissue on Rhino. This originally came out in 1990. Really good stuff, shoegaze, kind of on the mellow side, maybe similar to Slow Dive, but good stuff, you know. Seagull, opening track is just great stuff. Kaleidoscope, really good. In a Different Place, Polar Bear, Dreams Burn Down. It's all really good. This was, these guys in the Stone Roses were early parts of the Britpop scene of the 90s. So, there you go for that. Ride, Nowhere. So that's it for this week, people. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope everybody's doing well, enjoying your weekend, and I'll be back next week with another one. So take care, BC.